So we really want to respect your time of making this a short meeting. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our Reading Unleashed. So we're going to get gamified with reading and our summer reading program. Welcome, Megan. We're going to start with Caroline. Caroline's going to start us off. Go, Caroline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Teschler. I'm the librarian at Santana, Sultanland. So whenever we first started doing the gaming summer programs, we had a whole litany of goals in mind, but really it narrowed down to specific ones that mostly favored the students, and then also for educators as well. So in looking at our goals for this program, the very top one is really expanding our kids' horizons in the reading experience. And this can be giving them exposure to new genres, actually new formats that they may have no idea even exist or even consider as a reading format. To expand their reading limits, because some of them, I think, at least as an English teacher, this was my experience, that kids would think that reading was only meant to be done as a class. And so it was very limiting. And so I think it gives them a sense of independence. It gives them a sense of freedom, no limits on what their experience can be with reading. And therefore lead to a whole new awareness and joy in the experience of reading, which we all experience because we have a very developed reading identity, but they don't. And then the next one was, and I got this phrase actually from a student who's been helping us kind of revisit and re-identify certain tasks for the game, but to reduce reading friction. And I really liked that term that he used, because I think that students often feel this friction because they don't have a say in what they get to pick, and then they don't have a sense of ownership in it. So I thought that was very, very telling. And then also, as I mentioned, to help not only discover, but to start developing this personal reading identity that I think a lot of them need help embracing and exploring. And then for us as educators, our goals, we have that summer slump that we think this will really help with, because it gives them such freedom and such exposure to so many different ways of reading. And then also to close that learning gap, which we have experienced in a huge way this year. So all of those definitely are our goals for getting our students and our staff members involved in our program this summer. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Anthony Devine. I teach, I'm the librarian at El Cajon Valley High School, and we're building on last year's program. We're trying to get the word out that last year's program won a really cool award. We're very proud of what we did last year, and we wanted to take what we did last year and build on it, make it better for this year. And you're a big part of that, coming to this meeting, watching this video, sharing it out with folks. Getting started is really easy. In order to start, you and/or your students will go to unleashed.gameful.me, and there will be a login button that you click, and you sign in with your GUHSD Google account. And after you do that, you get to pick a display name. People don't have to choose their own name for the display. You can choose an avatar, and you pick the section you belong to, which school you belong to. And after that, you click update, and that's it. You are now signed up if you do those steps. Very quick, very easy. The Gameful platform that we're using from Mike Scotchko and Mick McMurray make that really easy. And once you get started, once you're in the game, you can participate either on a Chromebook or on a computer or on a cell phone. It looks good on both surfaces. And for the first quest map, they're called, the first quest is on the Getting Started page. This is something that's active now and people can get going now. When you click on a quest, a reading quest, right away, you'll see the participant earning a badge. They get a little bit of experience points. And then as they complete the quest, they follow the instructions within the quest. And those are different for different purposes. Sometimes it's to read something very brief. Sometimes it's to do something, to take a screenshot of completing a task. Sometimes it's to write a little response to a question that we ask. But for this one, this first one, it's just to watch an introductory video for how the game works. And after you complete the quest, you get a badge, you get some gold, which I'll share at the end of this part, what you get to use the gold for later. And there's even a chance to get some bonus loot, like a chance drawing for additional points and credits. It's really heavily using that gamification. It's leveraging gamification in order to encourage people to participate in this program. And after you're done, the quest will change color on the quest map, and that's kind of like a visual indicator of the participant that, oh, I've done that one, let me do the next one now. And then we have a variety of quest maps available. Like the game is split up into a few different areas, and the cool thing about our game, like was mentioned before, students can go at their own pace. They can pick and choose which quests that they complete. It's really meant to be a personal learning journey, personal reading journey, like developing themselves as readers to tap into the kind of reader that they're going to be as they move forward. And so we wanted to offer as much choice as possible with this. So for something like the quick quests, students can do things like book behaviors, like signing up for open ebooks, like getting connected to more reading material, getting started with Goodreads, like I want to know what kind of books are right for me. So learning how to use something like Goodreads, connecting to social media, like bookish social media. That's another quick quest item. The repeatable quests are things like submit what you're currently reading, or read this brief article, or use a recipe, like different kinds of opportunities that are easily repeatable, but build up those reading skills, those reading behaviors that we want our students to take with us as they leave us. Digging deeper, those are like more invested reading behaviors, like sustained reading, maybe even reading a whole book or joining a reading club, and maybe interacting with us on Padlet or something like that. And then we have the daily and weekly bonus maps. Those include like recommendations, listening and viewing recommendations for reading, and completing like week-long type quests. And again, all of these are totally optional. And even these maps, I know we might mention it later, but this is still a work in progress. Like right now, students can join, students to be ready, but our goal is by June 1st to have everything ready to go. Right now, I bet we're about 70% there. We're going to be working on it between now and then. So anything you share, any more students you get invested would be fantastic. And as students participate, as they earn badges, as they earn experience points, and they earn gold, that all gets recorded on their profile page, and they can see what they've done so far this summer. It's part of the fun of the game, is to see how have I leveled up, what have I earned. Oh, I haven't gotten the Goodreads badge yet. How do I do that? I'm going to click on that and find out. And because it is Reading Unleashed, very much a pet-centered, fun theme we're going with here, we reached out to the GUHSD community a while ago and asked for pictures of pets. And a lot of you gave us those pictures, and they're great. So we used those images as the level badges. So as people progress through the game, they will get badges with pictures of GUHSD pets on there. And the highest level badge you can get, because I made this part, I made it be my mom's dog that won the world's ugliest dog contest a few years ago. That is an award-winning dog. So if you stick with this program and get all the way to level 20, you're going to get that coveted Yoda badge. So good luck. I hope you get it. And the gold we mentioned earlier, we want this to be like an intrinsically motivating type behavior, like encouraging people to read for their own benefit. However, we also wanted to give students a little bit of something for participating. And so we reached out to people like Barnes & Noble in Grossmont Center and some others And they gave us things like books to share with students. And we figured, well, if it has to be an extrinsic reward, it might as well be something reading related, like giving away books. So we got together at the end of the summer last year, and we had a lot of fun bagging up all of the things that people bought with the gold that they earned through this game. And I'm going to pass it off to Suzanne.
Thanks, Anthony. So what I hope that you realize is how much the librarians and me as one of the librarians, we appreciate you as teachers, and we depend upon you very much all of the time to give us ideas. We love collaborating with you. And one way that you can help us is with the summer reading program. At the lowest level, or I shouldn't say lowest, but the kind of easiest entry level is you can just participate yourself. So this is open not only to students, but anyone who has an @GUHSD.net account can participate. So staff members, admin, you can be part of the summer reading program. You can earn prizes too. I had teachers at my school who were really excited to get some prizes last year. But if you're also thinking with your own teacher hat on, you can experience what it's like to be part of a gamified system. As Anthony mentioned, we're using the Gameful.me platform, which is really awesome that it was designed by teachers in our district, Mike Scotchko from Valhalla and Mick McMurray from Mount Miguel. They have helped us a lot in terms of making sense of it, but I will let you know it's not necessarily easy in terms of a learning curve. And so we by far recognize that the game system is not perfect. There can be bugs sometimes. You might notice like we have a glitch in terms of our setup. So we do invite you, we invite students to let us know if you have any questions, you notice anything we've messed up on. As Anthony also mentioned, we are still building the game. Like we started with what we had last year, and as Carolyn mentioned, we have students who've given us feedback, and we are making changes based on the feedback we've received. So last year, for instance, our game map was pretty much one single game map that had a lot of columns and a lot of rows, and the student said it was really overwhelming. So that's why we've shifted our design now to having more maps with a more manageable amount of quests per page, and we still need to work on kind of clearing up the maps and the quests. So even some of the screenshots that you see in the presentation today will be different from when we launch it. But in any case, we welcome your feedback. If you have ideas of what you'd like for a quest, let us know. One of those ideas, which was actually based on a teacher question last year, was how can I share recommendations for what I want my students to read? Because I'm encouraging them to be in the summer reading program, but there are certain books I want them to read. So just because of that teacher's question, we created a quest that is to read a GUHSD teacher recommended read. So there's a link on this slide, and we'll have somebody put it in the chat. And also when we email you after this, we'll have the slide deck with the link. Actually, will we be able to get the participant email list, Anthony, with the recording and a link to the slides, hopefully, so that you can submit your own book recommendations to add to the quest list. And Kiana, we were definitely thinking about you being able to use some of the slides if you want to share this with students. So again, like we'll share the link to the recording, the slide deck. You can copy and edit whatever slides you want to be able to share with your students. And then just participate and promote with friends, and you'll get more information about that from the people to follow.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Macheka from high school, and I'm going to be talking about how you're able to integrate this into your some things you could do now that would really help us out. If you've ever tried a new exercise program, you know the hardest part is just getting to the gym, and that's a struggle too. So the first step is just have students sign up for the program right now by going to unleash.gameful.me. And then also consider signing up yourself. It's really important for us to model our passion for reading, and students see you participating and interacting. That really motivates them. You can also have kids complete the challenges that just give them access to books. Like one of them is just logging into Sora for the first time. And that's the application that we have that is available in the G Suite. for students and staff that connects you to the San Diego County Public Library collection. And it's a single sign-on, super easy. And we want students getting comfortable using it. Students are also eligible for something free called Audiobook Sync for Teens. It gives them 2 free audiobooks each week. And students also have access to something called Open eBooks through the initiative, and that's thousands of ebooks that are available to them. And in the classroom, if you are teaching summer school, I have some suggestions, and I'm sure there are many more that you could employ. But one is consider assigning a particular challenge to your students to complete as part of your curriculum. If it involves doing a book face with a particular book or a simple activity like that, it would be really easy to have students get into the summer reading program and move forward that way. Now, because of the particular nature of the program, teachers are not eligible to become administrators and actually like monitor their students in a class format, kind of like in Google Classroom or Schoology. But instead, you can use class time to check on their progress. All you have to do is ask students for screenshots of where they are at a particular time, or you can use class time, have them open up their computers, log into the program, and walk around the room with a clipboard to just check their progress. You can use the challenges that require specific interactions. Like some of them right now are set up to do Flipgrid, but we might be using some other programs as well. And you can do those as assignments. And if you're participating in that particular interaction, you'll be able to see your students. And the last is maybe you have an assigned reading task in your class, and you could have the students complete a challenge that's specifically for your assigned reading. It may not seem like it would tie in, but it could. And I'm sure there are more ideas, but those are just a few that I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Scott from Granite Hills, and
I'm Nicole Sabel from Monte Vista.
awesome. So we're going to talk about how you can help us promote this with all of your students. As we know, we can promote it in 10 different ways, and they still might only see it once. So the more we get it out there, the better.
The first one obviously is just sending out the link, the unleash.gameful.me, and send it out to your Schoology or your Google Classroom. Start sending it out now so that they know in advance and have a couple weeks to get ready for it.
Also, if you have a club that you run at your school, once I post, I'm at every school, we're posting it, but you can also post the same thing and then tag any other school club that you have. So for instance, I will put it on the library. I will tag ASB. I will tag the Granite Hills social media page and the PTSA, just so that somewhere, even if they're not following the library from me, they will get it from something else that I tag.
Okay. If you know that there is a class this summer that has required reading, send this information to them. A lot of times we think that this is just like an English class sort of focus, and it's not. Any class could incorporate outside reading into their class. So send it to any and all of the classes.
Students always ask, what are you reading? And of course, they love it if you find something in common. So tell your classes your favorite books. We talked about that, posting it. So you could do a couple lists. You could even say, my favorite from this particular genre is this book. If I'm reading YA, it's this. If I'm doing historical fiction, it's that. The kids love fantasy. So even just telling them, they will be interested and try to read that book, we hope.
We know that there's a lot of summer school going on this year, and this would be a great opportunity for them to really join in, especially if there is something that they have to read for one of their classes. They could incorporate the game as a way to kind of motivate them and get them excited about whatever course materials they are reading and or find new things to read.
All right. So as we've been saying over and over, we don't want this to be more work for anybody. This should be as easy for all of you, especially if you're doing summer school. So this is really easy. This white part in there, just copy and paste that whole thing. When we said, go ahead and share it on your Schoology or Google Classroom, if that's what you used, that's all you have to do. And then the videos will, like we said, we'll have it everywhere, the school webpage, the library web pages, so that they know how to get started. And then also you could use our promotional graphic, which is made on Canva. That is to the right, and you can just get that.
And then just make sure you're sharing it out. When you're sharing it on Instagram, please use the hashtag GUHSD reads. And don't forget to tag our GUHSD school libraries. And we've got all of our handles here for you to include as you send it out.
All right, you guys, that was a great job. Thank you for coming. If you guys have any questions, we're going to stick around for you and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, you'll be getting a link to this video and it will include the slide deck, which will include all the embedded links as well. And we hope you're ready to get unleashed and start reading.